Hi guys, today you'll find out why working a lot does not mean working effectively. I'll explain how the culture of constant busyness is killing your business and your life. And I'll share specific tools that can help you move toward a 4-hour workday and increase productivity starting today. Hi, my name is Leslie. I'm an entrepreneur, business coach, and ambassador of the one-person business model. On this channel, I talk about the most important things in the world of one-person business so that you can get inspired and walk away with concrete tools to start. I grew up in a family of an engineer and KGB officer. The engineer was not my mom. Our home phone number was not listed in the phone book. In my school records, there was a blank space next to my mother's place of work. I went to a specific kindergarten and special summer camps where the main parenting argument was, do as I say or I'll call your mom at work and she'll get reprimanded. I grew up as a constantly busy child. School, music school, rhythmic gymnastics, swimming. When vacation started, my mom would say with disapproval, well, here comes another period of idleness. And she'd hand my homework from the main subjects, just to reinforce the material. I was a straight A student, so extra hard problems felt like entertainment. But it was important not to show that you were having fun, because if a child is too happy, it means there's something wrong in their head. So I learned how to put on a sad face. And if earlier you could take it off, over time it starts to grow into you. Now that I've started a YouTube channel, one of the most painful realizations has been, God, my face looks so sad. And that's the face my husband sees first thing in the morning and last thing before sleep? I now understand where his recent insomnia and anxious thoughts are coming from. As a child, I learned one thing very clearly. Freedom is desirable, but sinful. So I tried not to rest. And if I did have to rest, I at least did it with guilt. To this day, I feel uncomfortable when someone walks into the room and I am just sitting there doing nothing. Being constantly busy with a sad face is the best strategy if you want nobody to bother you. Because when you barely rest, you turn from a natural extrovert into a domestic introvert. And it feels like finally a solution. Now you are an introvert. You barely talk to people unless you absolutely have to. You spend a lot of time alone. But now you also don't want to be alone with yourself because your inner voice is boring, anxious, and whinny, and it needs to be drowned out. Anything will do. Anxiety, including news, expensive online courses, Facebook threads work too. And during the day, this kind of works. You stay busy, you flood yourself with information noise, but at night, it's time to put the phone down and go to sleep. And that's when it starts. You toss and turn half the night. So yes, I'm a very typical story, and I see the exact same thing in the average entrepreneur. They believe business equals effectiveness, that rest is only allowed if it comes with guilt, that there's never enough time alone with themselves, but at the same time they're afraid to be alone with themselves. And then fear leads to chronic busyness, overload, and a closed loop where there's no space to stop, think, and optimize your life. This is how 90% of people live. Most of them are unhappy with their results and believe the solution is to work even more. But modern economics is an economic of creativity, ideas, and innovation. It doesn't require physical exhaustion or constant busyness. It requires completely different qualities. The ability to see non-standard solution, to think broadly, to step outside templates. The main resource today is not time spent working, it's the quality of ideas and decisions you are able to produce. Productivity is not about hours, it's about the value of what you create. To use these opportunities, you have to completely change how you relate to work and rest. In the new economy, rest and free time are not a luxury, they are a critical condition for success. Those who live by the rules of the old industrial economy lose their competitive advantage. Their brains are clogged with routine, admin, fear, and guilt. But those who know how to get inspired and who value rest think more clearly, find solutions faster, and implement new ideas more boldly. Today, the winners are not the ones who work longer, they are the ones who think deeper. The mindset of the cow versus the mindset of the lion. In our collective imagination, the ideal worker still looks like a cow, grazing all day, always doing something, producing something stable, predictable, and exhaustingly consistent. That image worked well in the industrial economy at the last century, where the number of hours directly affected output. But we are not there anymore. Today we live in an economy of ideas, bursts, leverage, and technology. And here's the paradox. Constant busyness is an obstacle. The cow mindset is business for the sake of business. Working 8-10 hours even when you are drained. Always doing something so you don't look lazy. Fearing silence and pauses because anxious thoughts appear. Doing everything yourself because it's faster this way. Believing more hours equals more success. That leads to burnout, self-criticism, and no real breakthroughs. The lion mindset is energy, precision, results. A lion rests for a long time, but acts powerfully and exactly when it matters. It doesn't rush, it concentrates, it preserves energy for the key moment. It chooses goals with maximum leverage. An entrepreneur is not a cow grazing in an office for 10 hours. An entrepreneur is a lion acting precisely and effectively. How to think like a lion. First, work during your peak energy hours. Identifying the time of day when you are best at deep thinking and hard decisions. Don't try to be productive all day. That's a myth. 3 to 4 hours of deep focus often beat 10 hours of chaos. Second, focus on what matters. Identify 2 or 3 actions that actually move your business forward. Everything else is background noise. Remember, strategy isn't about what you say yes to. It's about what you say no to. Third, use leverage. Delegate, automate, implement AI. The best companies are no longer looking for people who know how to do things. They are looking for people who can manage AI agents and produce results. This isn't the future, this is now. Fourth, schedule rest. Not because you earned it, but because it's essential for productivity. Rest is the part of the work process. Without it, there are no good ideas. Rest is the new work. You go to yoga during the day, your heart is full of problems. Yoga says, breathe, feel your body, and your brain says, I can't, I have a problem. Yoga says, okay, then who are you without problems, roles, and thoughts? And suddenly you are standing it downward dog thinking, wait, I don't think I actually have any problems. Fifth, wait, observe. Don't grab everything at once. Create space for silence and observation. The ancient Greeks considered leisure the highest form of life, and they weren't stupid. Sixth, procrastination is a signal. It's not always evil. Often it's a sign you need to switch from external work to internal work. Maybe you need more information, more rest, or deeper honesty with yourself. Most decisions are born inside. Don't ignore yourself. The cow mindset is safe, familiar, and outdated. The lion mindset is harder, but it's the only path to real freedom, money, energy, and life. You were not created to stand in a stall for 12 hours a day. You are here to hunt, create, inspire, and change the world. And here's something else that becomes obvious. Our real fear isn't that we'll work less. It's that we won't know what to do with the time that gets freed. We are used to believing that meaning equals work, that rest is just a break between tasks, not part of life. But if we are honest, most big decisions, turning points, and breakthroughs happen when we are not doing, when we are simply being, when you are not providing anything, not justifying yourself, not competing, just living. And only from that state you can see your real meanings, not imposed ones, but yours. Because freedom is not just working 4 hours a day. Freedom is knowing you are doing it not out fear, not out debt, not to pleasure someone, but because it's yours. And if tomorrow the market changes, the algorithm changes, the whole system changes, you'll adapt because you are not the system. You're a human. If something in this video resonated with you, write in the comments. How many hours a day do you actually work? And what really scares you about the ideas of working less? And if you want more tools, ideas, and uncomfortable truth about one-person business, subscribe to this channel.